All right, everybody. We're live. We're going to take a quick second and thank our sponsors. And you see old Ryan's with me, and I'll explain where John is. Alpha Plumbing, Mr. D. Robinson. Appreciate him. Andalusia Marine, Shannon, all them guys down in Andalusia. My buddy Richard at Gerber Collision. The Piggly Wiggly and Ace Hardware here in McCalla. And the Piggly Wiggly and Ace Hardware in Hueytown. And Sage down there at Camden Piggly Wiggly. And Power Brakes right there, Mr. Chad Clifton. Thank goodness I got mine running again. I've needed them, but appreciate all the sponsors, man. They help keep the show going. And I'm going to make a new commercial. I just got to download it. Have time to download. I've been working a little late. So, but hey, appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on, filling in for John.
No problem.
John's getting he got his boat ready. He's going to get that gorilla hull put on down in Toledo, Toledo Bend, and he's having to put some hubs on his boat and get it ready. I think some stuff just started messing up on him today. So he called me and said, I text Ryan. Ryan said he'd fill in. So I said, good. I need somebody to talk to because it sounds like I keep talking to myself when I'm on here by myself. So
as long as you don't answer yourself.
Hey, I called Ryan today. I actually spoke with Ryan. I'm doing a job with Colby and Dylan up there on the river, and we were putting a pump in for irrigation, and I called him and asked him how far they dropped the lake because we built a rig to put in the water. So, but hey, Ryan said they drop about 3-4. So we found about 7-8 foot of water to put it in. So hopefully it'll work.
That ought to work.
Let's see, man. We got 10 people on here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. It feels great in the mornings and hot in the evenings. Crazy.
It's getting a little better. Logan was about 81 yesterday morning, right after daylight. So it's trending in the right direction.
I see where you ran a few trips.
I normally don't guide this time of year, but right. I've had some people call me and ask me to take them out for family purposes or whatever. So,
right.
it is obviously it's not as good as normal, but I think we had 30 and we had 33 by noon yesterday, and I had to go to a funeral, so we had to cut it a little short. But
hey man, I'll take that right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And a couple of days before that, I think it was Sunday, we had 24. So it's getting a little better, but it's still not great.
No, man.
But we're still catching 50, 60 fish. You just got to weed through the small ones to get some keepers.
It's Colby and I went Saturday down to, hell, ain't no secret, Swift Creek, down on the lower end of the river. And, man, we got a blast, caught a bunch of eating fish, and zoomed around. And, I talked to Charles earlier that day, and he was coming from Louisiana. He said, it's raining over here. And he said, it's going to rain over there about 3 o'clock. And I was like, really? Nah, it ain't going to rain. So we went on down river goofing off about 3 o'clock, son. We got our butts soaked. I mean, we couldn't got any, wetter if we jumped in the river, man. It was funny, and we stopped, caught a few more fish. Like you said, wading through some small ones, catching some, 11, 12-inch fish every now and then. No monsters, just, good eating fish and good fun. I mean.
So you said that was Saturday?
That was Saturday. Sure was. We went down.
Yeah, we had our annual dove shoot down there at Rockford Saturday, and it started raining about 1 o'clock and didn't stop till way after 5.
Yeah, that's it. What was funny? Look, the kicker of this, we're sitting in the creek, right? And I see a shower coming. I was like, hey man, it's coming. So I hurried up. I swear to you, if I'd have stayed there, we wouldn't have got wet for 10 miles. Raining. I was just, and me and him, he sat at the center console beside me, and we're just looking at each other, shaking our heads, going, what a bunch of idiots, man. Just we're getting pinged, it's raining. As you go up through, there's a lot of sandbars, and people are grilling out and hanging out at volleyball nets and all that good stuff. And I'm sure they were laughing at us. But we caught a lot of fish. Great place to catch a lot of fish. They all had, some of them had bad attitudes, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know how it is this time of year. September's really, it looks like we're not going to get any rain for a little while, Ryan. I mean, looking at, it's always like this time of year. So.
Yeah, when everybody's, of course, thinking of the hunting clubs and getting the food plots in the ground and everything else. But, I think I looked at it yesterday. There wasn't no rain for the next 10 days at least. So.
Yeah, man. Hey, speaking of hunting, hey, guys, put your corn bags and feed bags, stuff them in one bag and put them in your truck. I can't stand them things get blowed all over the highway. I mean, I've been guilty of it, man. You know, we already anti-hunters really like to hate on us anyway. And just put the dang corn bags in one bag, or whatever you need to do. I stuff them in one bag and throw them in my back seat, and I throw them home when I get home. Throw them away. But those bags are blowed all over the highway right now. And me and Nick Dutrock was talking about it. I was like, I need to say something, man. You just reminded me, Ryan, when you said that. So.
You definitely see them laying all over the place.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not saying you don't accidentally blow out your truck, but man, we don't need to trash up anymore. And we represent all the hunters. Everybody loves to feed them and plant and all that stuff. Just try to police the bags a little bit, guys. That's it. Oh, Daryl's tuned in from Texas. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? Jamie, did you fish south of Swiss Creek? I did go south, man, a little ways. We caught fish all over the place. We caught 100 fish easy. I could have stayed in Swift Creek and caught 10-inch fish till I got blue in the face. They're just good eating fish. It's just fun. No giants, mostly white fish. I think we had a handful of blacks we caught on the main river. Nothing crazy. So
I've never been down there to Swift, and when I fished the Alabama River, I've always stayed on the north end.
I know you stayed up there around
Jackson and
what's the name of
what's the place there south? Everybody where the boat ramp's at.
Man, if you hadn't said anything, I'd have told you, man. It's right out there out of town. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been about halfway down there, and that's it.
It's a pretty river. I seen some fish on the river, main river, on some ledges, and hey, I couldn't get them to do nothing now. Cooter's Pond, that's it. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, Cooter's Pond.
Golly. Thank you, Jamie. My buddy Tommy tuned in. Mr. William Lawley on here. Clinton Tyson. Appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Oh, Ryan's filling in with us. John's, he's getting his boat ready to carry to Toledo Bend and get his little gorilla hole put on. And he called me. He said, man, I've been mad at it. And I said, what is this, man? My hubs went out. We putting hubs on and all kinds of. He was going to redo them anyway. And I think something happened to one of them, so he's redoing it. So, Mr. Paul Foster, I appreciate you, man. What you been catching fish on up there on that coast of Stingy's it is, right?
Well, it's mostly been minnows here lately, but I've been using that Delta jig, that CCK, that Coosa crappie killer, and the cold candy colors. You might catch 10 or 15 a morning on a jig, but it's mostly minnows right now.
Gotcha. I understand. If I go Saturday, I'm definitely carrying some with me. You can write that down. I don't know if I should be able to buy them somewhere down there if I go back down to Swift Creek. I don't even know. I got 2 guide trips next week to Miller's Ferry, so I'll stay out of there and hopefully go have some good trips.
I got one next week, and I think I'm going to Mitchell.
There you go. Yeah, good luck, man. Mitchell really gets really good. October, November-ish.
It does.
I mean, it does. There's a lot of fish there. When I called you before, and you're like, "Hey, man, you need to go here," and I said, "Good Lord, it's fish." You might talk a few in them to biting, but a lot of fish on that lake.
Speaking of Mitchell, I found the absolute biggest gar hole I think I've ever seen in my life. There were thousands of gar in this half of a football field size pocket. Man, unbelievable how many gar was there.
Muller's Ferry, believe it or not, Ryan, I'd literally have to wait for the gar to go over the timber before I can cast to the crappie. Yeah, I will tell you that they will not come up and hit a jig when them gar come over. They will not even approach it. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
The guy I had with me when I was at Mitchell last week, we seen all them gar, and he was begging me to bring them back down there to try to snag some of them. I mean, we've seen some big ones come up, some of the biggest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, these are little spotted gar. They're not, they're 2-3 foot long. Not any big ones, just a bunch of gar. They're pretty spotted gar. But hey, the water's kind of getting stained up around there a little bit. They've been cutting some timber around the river, so that's helped me out a ton. I was telling John that last trip, I was like, man, it's not as clear where I'm fishing here as it normally has. And then I heard something, yang, boom. I said, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
Dropping a big pine tree. I said, there it is. So, big bass right on 14. Yeah, I go right by that, Jamie. Thank you. They've got some minnows there. I may carry some with me if I go. Because the fish set up, Ryan, the ones I found, the bigger fish, man, they were in tops. You literally had to get over the top of them. And I was really dropping my jig, pretty almost vertical down through there. And one would flash up and get it, the ones I catch. It just, they wasn't really chasing my bait. And I figured if I had a long rod and a minnow, even if I just put it on the hook, just dropped it down in there, maybe I could get one to eat.
Is there standing timber in Swift, or is it mostly stumps?
There's some standing timber and Swift on the right. It's mostly stumps and brush piles people put out there. Man, it's not rocket science. You just reeve through the creek channel. You just call that creek channel, man, run your stuff out 70, 80, find them. And you have to look, and you'll see, there's some better fish there. We had some pound a quarter fish. That cooler that I posted, there were some bigger fish down below, and I just didn't feel like, digging through them. But we caught some good fish. Had some fun. I mean, if you just want to go catch some fish and, get your live scope skills and using your power brakes and all your stuff, just get boat control. That's a great place to do it. There's a lot of targets there. Where I'm fishing at Miller's Ferry is not a great place to do it because I'm catching one individual fish, two individual fish. I'm chasing them through timber. And the guy was like, how do you know that's a crappie? I said, watch the way he swims. And you see that tail flap and then they glide, tail flap and then they glide. And you can just chase them through that timber.
Yep.
He's like, how do you see that through all these fish? I said, you do it so much you're going to. You can tell, but it was interesting.
I'm gonna try to go to Grenada next weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna make it yet, but I'm trying.
I think it's 5 foot low, so maybe you'll have a thermocline in the Grenada, which will push them fish up, which will help you. They can't set on the bottom. I want to go. Colby and I was talking about going back. Eric is back from there. I bet he's back in Alabama putting out brush piles and stuff. So
he is. I seen him post something yesterday or day before.
Yeah, I told him I may ride over there. Once he left, I said, hey, man, I'll come over here and fish because I really don't want to. I ain't saying I'm going to hurt Eric's fish, but I didn't want to be around him trying to guide, stuff like that. So,
usually I go over there at the end of August, but I didn't go this year because I just got back from Canada. So
I think you'll hit it just right. He told me September and October, the first couple of weeks is pretty good. So
yeah. So I'm gonna try to. I haven't been over there this year, so I'm gonna try to squeeze one in before they start dropping it too low.
Yeah, I think it's 5 foot right now. Like I said, we're not expecting any rain, so it's dropping pretty quick. So I like to go over there and catch some more myself. Mr. Dennis Rosetta tuned in. Appreciate Dennis.
Memory maker.
That's him. He's kicking away, buddy. Grenada's one of them things, man. I guess, somebody asked me the other day, my favorite month to fish in the fall is about November. By the time gun season opens, it's getting pretty good. About before Thanksgiving, it's getting pretty good. Hopefully, I've killed a few deer by then. I can go after them. So.
Yeah, when they start schooling back up and moving around a little bit, they start getting a lot more aggressive.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. The hormones. Females start making eggs and all that good stuff. And I think I'm looking at the calendar there on the wall, and it should be pretty good. Always, like I said. Yeah. Well, I know they laugh at me. Jamie's talking about the piles of fish. I know, buddy. You ain't telling me nothing. I was at Lake Talcon, and I probably seen 4,000 fish. We caught 40. So that tells you how many times. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about big piles. Woo!
The guy I took fishing yesterday, I said, I can show you thousands of them. We may not catch that many, though.
Yeah, and people get excited. I mean, hey, man, I'll let you know when you need to get excited.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God, yeah, man, I'll let you know. I'm going to try to run some guide trips to Talcon next month in October. I'd like to. I usually try to. I'm going to try to run a few. The only thing is, Ryan, I have to book 2 days for me to make it worth my trip, going down there.
Yeah, it's like me going to Eufaula. I mean, I got a little bit on Eufaula, but, and I used to live down there before I moved up here near to where I'm at. But so I have a good following and I know a lot of people down there, but And I even got a place to stay down there, but unless I can, book back-to-back days, there ain't no sense in me going down there.
Right. That's what I do. That's what I'll do. As far as talking, I'll try to book, 2 days or something like that. Worth my while then. So I got 2 days next week at Miller's Ferry. Just chasing fish through timber is all I've been doing. I'll be honest with you. That's what I.
Hey, but with that being said, if anybody wants to go the first week of October on Eufaula, hit me up. I'll be down. My daughter's getting married, so
There you go. Heck yeah.
I think about taking a couple of days off and staying down there for a week.
There you go. Hey, that's good. Yeah, I'm working with my buddy Colby, and trying to do that. And I got a few job applications in, just waiting on all that to work out. Staying busy, so. Colby working the crap out of me right now. I sleep good at night. I'll tell you that much.
That's not easy work.
No, it's not. It's you don't have to worry about artificial intelligence taking that work up. I promise.
That's right.
Manual labor, and
we still need ditch diggers.
Hey, just good, clean work. Hey, it's just work. I'm planning on, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna fish Saturday or not. Toby said I'm definitely better at sales than what he does. What do you play? You gonna fish this weekend at all, Ryan?
No, I got to work, unfortunately. My real job.
I understand. Got to go back to the other job. I understand. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to go Saturday. I ain't made up my mind. We're all going on a big hunting trip 1st October to North Alabama, so we're getting ready for that. It's coming here pretty quick, so we're gonna go up there and try to do it. But man, it just waiting on the temperatures drop, waiting on the fishing to pick up. That's what kind of you're in limbo right now.
And me and my wife's leaving October 13th to go into Maine.
Oh yes.
On vacation. We're going to squeeze a couple of days of bear hunting in on the way back. So
nice, cool.
That's one thing I've never done. I've seen a few in the wild, but I've never actually got to hunt them.
Yeah, I've never hunted bear myself. It's on my list, but hey, I'm running out of time to get my list done.
Well, we actually had no plans to do it, but an old military buddy of mine, we're going to stop and see him for a few days and he lives in Vermont.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, while you're here, you might as well, do this. So use my gun, go buy your license and have at it. So I think that's what we're going to do.
There you go. Cool.
He's going to have one tied up for me.
There you go. I know they do need to be controlled just like everything else. No doubt about it. So no doubt about it. Well, I'm trying to see if I ain't missed any questions. Everybody just coming in and saying, hey, I mean, everybody's dealing with the same thing we're dealing with, guys. Stubborn fish, a lot of fish. It's just it's a low percentage getting the bite right now. That's just the pattern we're in right now.
You're better off. We all find those stumps or brush piles or whatever, with the 200 or 300 fish. But you sit there for a couple minutes. If you get 2 or 3, you're just better off just going somewhere and finding some new ones. But the time you sit there and waste trying to beat on them fish that ain't going to bite, you done catch 2 or 3, 6 more in another place. So
that's exactly right. People don't waste a lot of time on brush piles this time of year.
You just got to catch what you can catch and just move on. And, it's a lot more productive and the numbers add up. You might stop 40 times, but if you can catch a couple at each location, they add up eventually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's coming. That's what we got to do. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing at Miller's Ferry, man. Just hitting spots and running. Next thing I know, I got 30 fish. This time of year, if you have 30 fish in Alabama this time of year, you done pretty good. I promise you. That's just the monster we're dealing with right now.
Eufaula, from what I've seen on social media, Eufaula looks like it's been on fire all summer.
We caught. Kobe's got a good question. Ryan will be the one. What point of the year is best to shoot the docks, Ryan?
Most people know that Logan's my home lake. Logan is a good dock shooting lake. I'm not going to say great, but it's good. But there's very few docks on Logan that hold fish year round. My favorite time is probably going to be March, April on Logan, just because the numbers of fish up there.
I'd agree. I know I talked to you when I went up there. We seen a ton of fish. We was a little later than that, but there was a lot of fish there.
Yeah, and a lot of docks will hold fish until that water really starts warming up, late May, early June. But for the sheer numbers, it's going to be, February, March, April. Expect, the deeper docks will start loading up first, and they'll start moving shallower. But there, like I said, there's only a handful of docks that'll hold fish year round, and the early spring is my favorite time.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I know the dock shootings. We're basically getting set up for schooling fish, blackfish. That's they start around November. I mean, they start moving around. Especially on the rivers, they'll start piling up on the rivers as long as we don't get a bunch of big floods and all that good stuff. I have to deal with that high water a lot. So I was telling me and Colby was driving the truck today, and I told him, I said, there's not too many places better than like Demopolis and the river down there, in February and November, and not at all. But when that river floods, it just blows them out. I mean,
yeah. I don't go down there to Demopolis very often, usually about one time a year, but I found one dock down there, and you probably know where it's at.
Yeah.
It's absolutely infested every time I've ever been down there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about one of the only docks I think I've ever seen a pile of whitefish on.
Oh, yeah. We went, I had a trip down with Chad Selman and his brother last Thursday. And we went Ryan, and Colby and I slipped down there after work one day and found them in the river channel just sitting there, just floaters. And we caught them fast. And I thought, man, I'll be able to bring them down here next week. We went in there, and there wasn't 2 or 3 fish there. I was like, what in the world? So we went upriver, caught a handful. Finally went way up to Sun Baby on the creek that I know of, and finally pulled enough fish off to salvage, 30 fish maybe. And they were all whitefish. Every single one of them were whitefish. So, but
you talking about picking off the fish like that. So Sunday, I had a guide trip for a friend of mine. His dad was here out of town, asked me if I'd take him. So, that daylight that morning, the wind was howling.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him, I said, if we get 20 fish, today, it'd be a miracle. And we ended up with like 26, 27, something like that. But it was about 11:30. I mean, I was on my trolling motor all day, just fighting that wind. And it was about 11:30. My trolling motor was to the point it was done. And I told him, I said, I'm going to check one more spot in this channel. It's a rock pile, sits on a point right in Clear Creek, right towards the mouth. And we pulled up on that thing, and man, it was freaking loaded. And within just a few minutes, we caught 5 or 7 fish there. And my trolling motor was done. And I told them guys, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. I said, I got another trip in a couple of days. I said, this would be a good place to come back to. Shoot, went back a couple of days later, and they were gone.
It's so crazy. And you're like, wow, the water temperature hadn't changed.
No, nothing changed other than the wind.
We were crossing it when we started working up there Monday, Ryan. We were in Clear Creek working in the back, and I said, man, that wind was howling. We went over the bridge, and it was rocking.
Yeah.
Probably the day he was out there, I imagine.
Yeah, it was Sundays when I was there. Sunday and yesterday.
The bunch of rain was blowing really hard. So. It sure was.
Yesterday, I put in at Clear Creek, and I never even made it to Town and Country, so I stayed on the south end of the lake all day.
That's good. Yes. Rivers are humble you, but we'll say this: down John's Way and south, they'll fire up a couple weeks before these will. It's always like that. I don't know why. They'll get about 2 weeks ahead, and
you would think it'd be the opposite.
I know, but that's the way it is, though. It's crazy. It'll fire up down at Talcon. October, it'll start firing up, and then November here. It's like you said, you would think it'd be the exact opposite, but I know the end of September we were beating on them pretty good at Talcon, and then The 1st of October, we were doing pretty good. John's starting to catch a few down there, down his way. But I'm not seeing them loaded up nowhere on Facebook, just tailgates full of fish,
Yeah. How's Gunnersville right now? I haven't seen a whole lot of Gunnersville pics.
I went and caught some. Went through a lot of little fish too. I think the bigger fish are towards the river, towards the main river, the main lake. But it's the same. It's the same pattern we're in. Just waiting to. I seen where Jameson caught him pretty good at Neely Henry one day, but that may change too. It's so here and there this time of year. You really can't. You can't put it together.
I love fishing Neely Henry. There's a lot of fish up there, but Neely fishes so much different than what Logan does.
Oh, yeah.
Neely fishes to me a lot like Weiss.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy. I mean, and just like you mentioned, Jameson going up there and wearing them out one day. It's weird that, only a dam separates them two bodies of water, and they'll be on fire here, and down here you can't catch nothing.
Hey, when we went to Grenada, Eric said, hey, man, he showed us some stuff. He said, these fish are a little stingy. When you go to Sardis, and they'll turn on your jig in a heartbeat. And it's an hour. Same species of fish.
Yeah, I tell people all the time when I go over there, I usually go 4, 5, 6 days, and I'll spend a couple days at every lake, but I catch way more fish at Sardis and Nina than I ever do at Grenada.
You're exactly right.
And those Grenada fish, I don't know if it's the pressure or what it is, but it seems like they're the first ones to get up and go when you get close to them.
You're right. You're exactly right. We're just like I said, I've said it 10 times. It feels like this. It's just that time of year. We're waiting. I mean, it's coming. I mean, we're at the 9th month of the year, and this month's almost gone. Heck, today's September 11th. It's 9/11 right now.
It's flying by.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's flying by.
The older you get, the faster it goes by.
You're right, man. I don't know how many followers we're up to. I was going to tell everybody on the show. It's really moving. It's been doing good. Let's see. I think we're at 16,487. We're on for 16,500 now, so that's good. I'm going to turn this airplane mode back. It's really doing good. And now, man, I know it probably helps if I could go live somewhere. And, if I'm on a boat, I may have to break down one day and get that Starlink where I don't have to worry about it,
Just do it wherever you need to.
Yeah. Just go live and be able to show some stuff. And people like to see that, especially when they're stuck at work or they're at home and they can't go. I get it. I'm the same way. I watch all kinds of fishing. Even if they're not doing the type of fishing I'm doing, I'm always watching something.
Have you guys got any more plans about another get together?
No, not really. I would like to do one this fall. I really would. If we could really get a lake that was, like you said, like Eufaula or somewhere like that. That's, it's got a good place and the wind ain't bad, and the weather ain't bad. Go down there and catch them. I'd like to do one. We've done that one in May, I guess. Yeah, was it May we done the one in Weiss? I think it was.
I don't remember. I had to work that weekend, so.
I think it's May. I think it was May. So I don't know. Like I said, I'd like to do one. Because November, 1st of November, it's a pretty good time to do it. Just have to kind of, take a vote and see where everybody would go to. Because I know the same people are going to come. They don't care where it is. They're going to come.
Right.
I mean, as long as there's places to stay, and we could do one in Eufaula, though. I think it'd be fun. I mean, plenty of places to stay, plenty of fish. Tony got us that pavilion right there. Yeah, Memorial Day. That's when we done it, Jamie. That's right. We done it end of May. I don't know what. I'll mail it over to John and see what they say.
Pavilion. You talking about up at like Lake Point?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super nice people there. Gosh, super nice. There's a part right below there. We cooked that. But man, it was storming and raining that weekend. We done it I think it was last June we done it. I think we done it last June there. But y'all run it by John next time we get him on here. We sure will. Mr. Margaret Trucker, thank you for tuning in. We got a few people tuned in here, but I mean, it's just there's not a lot of techniques or secrets or strategies to talk about this time of year. It's just you're dealing with stubborn fish. I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to move and stick and move, catch a few and move, catch a few and move. Just the way it is. I mean, there's not
I won't mention any names, but someone turned me on to something a couple of years ago, and I try it from time to time, and I will say it is very productive, even this time of year, especially this time of year. A trout fly.
Oh yeah, I went down it.
And I'll tie a sinker on above it, and the bad thing about a trout fly, it can be productive, but I miss so many fish just from that hook being so small.
Oh yeah.
It's aggravating because I mean you'll get a lot of bites and you go to set the hook and you feel him for a second or he's not even there at all. It's crazy.
You can ask Colby, man. The bite down at Swift Creek down there. It's just a pressure bite. They just set on it. They don't do nothing. No effort, no thump. Just all you feel them do is pull that rod down just a little bit. It's so crazy. Like if you really wasn't paying attention, you wouldn't catch some of those fish. I mean, it's just I want it, but I don't want it. Type of bite right now. I like it when they thump them. Don't get me wrong. I do.
They charge after it.
Yeah. Well, they come out now, but then they just set on it. Yeah, you're right, Cole. You got to watch that tip. If that tip will just load up. I mean, it might not move a quarter inch, and you better hit him because he's unset on it. It's a weird bite. I don't know how they bite minnows this time of year. I mean, overall, but I know the way they bite dang jigs. It's just a little old pressure bite. It's just whoop.
Well, it seems like most of the time they just got a hold of the tail.
I believe it. That's the kind of way they're doing. They just hell ain't no half-ass biting it. I mean, they ain't no other word to put it. That's what we're dealing with.
Yep.
I'm full, but I don't want to. I want to bite, but I don't want to bite. I mean, that's I like for that line to jump a foot.
Well, the nighttime bite is definitely better. There's a couple guys I follow, just local guys here at Logan, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't matter what night they go out. They come back with a cooler full, but that's a total different ball game fishing at night.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
When that sun goes down, I go to bed with the chickens. I'd rather be in bed.
I'm with you, buddy. Everybody asks me, I just don't want it. I don't get into it. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. But swatting mosquitoes. That's Carlos Curry. What'd he say? He said, good evening, guys. Caught a lemon on Logan Martin yesterday. Fish are still hanging on River Channel. Got to get them on their daylight, 10, 30, 11, and then they slow down. Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what we're talking about, Carlos. You got to put it on them, buddy. We were just talking about that, how stubborn they are this time of year. And that's a fact. You pull all your tricks out this time of year. There ain't no doubt about it.
And yesterday, one thing I just noticed he was talking about 12, 15 foot deep. Typically, the pattern is the shallower fish usually are more productive.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, to me, it seemed like the deeper fish were way more productive than the shallower fish.
Hey. To me, in Demopolis, it's the exact opposite. Your deeper fish will give you the bird, and your 4, 5, 6, 8 footers will eat the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
I will say that this year, and I don't know because the winter was so cold and it took so long for the water to warm up. We was all the way up in mid-July before the water temp got in the mid-80s, and that's real late. But I've seen temperatures in the 30s on Logan for the first time in my life this year. Never seen that before. But I have very, very few days have I been on Logan and actually seen the thermocline. It's weird. I'm not seeing it very much this year.
Yeah, I started seeing it a little bit here lately. I see it about this time of year more than anything, especially on the river, because they're not pulling a lot of water. Right now, since we don't have any rain, they're not pulling hardly any. You know?
Right.
You'll go to Demopolis and you'll be on the dirt if you ain't careful, because it's down. You know? It is down. I mean, all your lakes mostly at full pull up above here, but I just don't think, I mean, telling the God's honest truth, there's not a pattern you're going to do 3 or 4 days in a row. I don't think you're going to do it. I mean, I really don't.
Not on these lakes around here, you're not.
No. You might go one day, yeah, and think you've got it something clicked, and yeah. No. You know, don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to me why they do it. Like Ryan was saying, them fish on the rock pile, why'd they leave? Did the wind blow them in there? Did the wind blow the bait in there? You know, what makes them do it, you know?
You know, and I fish that rock pile quite a bit.
Pressure kick on.
Yeah, I fish that rock pile quite a bit. So, I mean, obviously I stopped there for a reason, but I had never seen fish stacked up on it like I did the other day and come back 2 days later and absolutely nothing changed but the wind, and they're gone.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I think that's all fish. I mean, that's all fish besides something that's bedding, you know, as far, you know, that's not bedding, brim, crappie, whatever, bass. I think that's that's the hand you're dealt with this time of year, man. I mean, you know, and like you said, you're using a certain kind of jig, same as me, certain size jig. I mean, downsize. When me and Kobe was down there, that Wise Choice tackle, that lemon drop, that was the only thing them fish would hit. I threw everything else, and Kobe kept whipping on them. I was like, well, I got to go back to it. And it's just a little old chartreuse and gold, little small 1 3/4 bait. But
what size jig head do you typically throw?
That's a 16th we throw all the time. You know, to me, I can stall it more and keep it in the strike zone and see what the fish is going to do. If I can get that fish to shake hands with me, you know, I got a chance. If he rears up, I got a chance. If he don't, you know, I don't. You know, but I throw a 16th most of the time. That's what I've got tied on all the time.
You know, and I throw 32nd. You know.
Oh yeah,
unless the wind of the current dictates that I can't, I throw a 32nd 90% of the time.
I go to Talcott when we get up in that shallow fish, or not really, just a 10-foot line. If I can get away with a 32nd, I'm going to throw a 32nd.
Yeah.
That's because you can walk it down to them. Keep it in their face longer. It's, you know, that's just you got a handful of tricks. Everybody does. Ryan, myself do. John does. And if you pull all those tricks and that brush and that pile of fish just tells you, nah, you might as well move on. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, you know, you're not doing nothing wrong. I mean, as much as we get to go, they're still only going to pull 4 or 5 fish off those piles. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. There's going to come a time here in a couple months you're going to pull 20 off there, 30, 40.
Yeah.
2 years ago in November, I was on the river, Alabama River, and I went up there and I put my live scope in the tree, Ryan, and I was like, and Travis goes, well, you messing? We don't need this live scope. I just spot locked it, threw up there, and just 48 fish we caught out of that tree. They were so piled in. I said, just go there when it gets that weed bed. I counted to 8 in my head. I said, when it gets that weed bed with that current, just start reeling. He said, all right. We sat there and caught 48 fish, big ones. Just, you know, I was like, I don't need this thing.
There's a certain dock on Logan Martin on the north end that if I ever stop and fish it, I can't tell you how many times we've caught a limit of fish off that one dock and do it multiple days in a row. And it's like that where that thing is at is on a curve and on a point. Yeah. It just reloads every single day.
It is a perfect scenario for them. Colby and I were trying to put together a pattern down there Alabama River in the Prattville area. And I finally did. I started finding stuff at a certain place below a creek channel. And I started going, and every time that there was structure there was fish there. I ain't saying we caught them, but I started going down that river just looking. I'd start side scanning it. Just looking, and we tried to put it before we got flooded on. We were putting a pattern together. Then I had a place I wanted to check way down river, And but John and them had caught a lot of fish up there, and those fish he caught several months ago. Well, I'll say several months ago, a month or so ago, they had moved on him. So don't feel like you're you're alone when you only catch 15, 20 fish or 5 or 6 fish and 2 or 3 brush piles. That's all of us, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, that is a fact.
And I put a lot of structure out myself, and I'll tell you, if it wasn't for me having 100 brush piles I could hit, in a couple mile stretch, I mean, I would struggle myself.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell people. They're like, well, I just can't catch them. Man, a friend of mine, Jamie, I went to school with, he's at Lake just trying to learn a live scope. I said, man, this is a bad time of year, so don't get disappointed. Don't get frustrated. Yeah. It's bad right now. Don't, give it a minute. There's not a better place to fish on the river system in Lake. I mean, when the fall gets here, I mean, they start schooling, you go down there and catch a lot of fish.
In a hurry.
Yes, you can. So you don't get frustrated, guys. I mean, just because you got a live scope, just because you got jigs, just because you got minnows, that don't mean a hill of beans this time of year. I laugh, and people, to me, you get in like conversations, people's like, what do you think the toughest crappie to catch are? I think Alabama holds some of the toughest crappie to catch that I know of. I mean, I know people in Arkansas and Louisiana, they catch them right and left. I've heard stories of people not even cranking the motor, catching 100. I know it gets a little easier, but Alabama, I'll tell you, that Bankhead and that Coosa River system will beat your tail, son.
Isn't that kind of odd? I was thinking about the other day, we all know the Mississippi, fish, and people catch them all summer long. But, there's a few people I follow on social media, just say Joe Partenza over in Georgia. They got them lakes over there in central Georgia where they catch them all summer long. Sure, and it just makes you wonder what's so dang different about Alabama.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. But they do. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. I can't.
I wonder if it has something to do with the water clarity. And we all know the Coosa here, gets super clear, or the Tallapoosa River too, gets super clear in the summertime when you don't have a lot of rain.
I think that hurts you too. That's one of the first factors.
Yeah, but I don't know if central Georgia over there and like Oconee and all them lakes over there, if the water's stained up in the summer, if that's the difference.
I know Carr and Newby and them, they fish over there. They whip on them now. I mean, they'll go out and catch them 20, 30 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Joe Potenza probably knows so many darn, docks over there they shoot the whole fish. But,
right.
I mean, Tim Pentecost, he's still catching a few fish. Shiloh, when he goes, he's still catching some. But like I said, everybody knows this is a down. Right now is kind of a lull for your crappie fishing. I mean, it really is. That's a fact. I mean, in Alabama, especially. And we're kind of spoiled. When I say lull and you're still catching 30 fish, you're kind of spoiled, I mean, if you really want the gist of it. But, I mean, it's coming. And I try not to I still get fired up as I go in the morning, just like I caught 100 the day before. And that's one good thing about fishing. I may catch 2 today, but I'm gonna be mad at them tomorrow. That's what's fun about crappie fishing. Just it's easy to psych yourself back up because it could change as fast as it got. That's crazy, but that's what you're dealing with. I mean, I'm gonna call it the lull. Like I said, it's not a long lull. It's really not. But like I said, I think the timing's really off this year. Like you said about the water, I remember that water was still cold, in June, July.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's going to do to the overall, fish. Plenty of shad in the water.
Well, I mean, it took a while to warm up this year, but it also seems like to me it's cooling down faster this fall.
100%.
So,
yes, I believe that. And we've had some nice weather. I think it's supposed to be warm this weekend. Then get back in the temperature, but it's supposed to be hot this time of year. my Facebook memories popped up, and I was beating on them pretty good at Miller's Ferry this time, 2 years ago and last year. So,
and typically, I haven't lived in Alabama my whole life, but typically it seems like the last couple of weeks of August, first couple of weeks of September is when we actually have our hottest weather.
I believe, 100%, yes.
Yeah, but
you could
it
cook
has
eggs on my forehead during dove season sometime.
Yeah, but it hasn't. This year hasn't played up to that.
No, like this morning it was 62 degrees when I was headed to Colby's house. I mean, it felt great this morning. I mean, just cool, little cool, and then by 3 o'clock, son, it got warm. It had gotten warm. Sun's high. Starting to see a lot of eagles. I said we seen a pair of eagles yesterday up there at Clear Creek watching them.
Well, just because I know where you guys are working right now, I don't want to say the name of the place because that's one of my honey holes.
Yeah.
So in the back of that slough.
Yes.
So if you're looking at the water from that house, if you're turned to the right,
yeah,
there's the eagle's nest right there on the bank, and I think they raised, may have been 2 different eagles or 2 different pairs, may have been the same ones. I don't know, but they raised 2 sets of little ones in that one nest this year.
I seen them. They were just whistling and squawking and going over. So hummingbirds, doves, and we pulled up yesterday after lunch and watched them. It was fun. But yeah, a lot of nice places on there, a lot of nice people. We've been eating lunch up there. It's a good place to fish. You just gotta it's got its time and it's coming. So everybody has to be patient. Just like Jamie Hall said, y'all really make me feel so much better about my tough days. Yeah, man, Jamie, it ain't you, bud. I mean, I promise you. Don't pay it. Hey, my pictures, if I lay 30-something fish or take a picture of the cooler, you can bet your butt I work my tail off for them things. Whoever's fishing me did too. We didn't stop at 2 stumps and bop, 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 We were doing that down the upper part of Alabama River. If they were all small, had to move around to catch some keepers. We're catching 15 off a dang stump, but a lot of them be 8-9 inches long,
Yeah. Okay, we're still catching a lot of shorts. I mean, but most times people don't generally care as long as they're catching fish all day long. You catch enough of them, you can weed through them.
Yes. Yeah. It's just you got to be patient. And the great thing is, man, you can get your boat control, get your practice that. You can practice your jig technique because the big ones bite just like the little ones do. You can fool those 8.5 inches, then 10, 12 inches and do the same thing. When they do turn around, or absolutely start to bite. But I don't know, Brian, if we're dealing with a lot of fish biting at night since your buddy and them's catching them. Then we get out there in the day and they're just like, I'm good. Just like most other animals, deer and everything, they don't move a lot in the summer heat. Every now and then you'll see them, before dark. But I don't know. I don't know really what makes them get into that little lull.
Well, I wonder about going back to the water clarity. Obviously in the daylight it's a little bit different than at night. And I don't. At night, maybe the water clarity doesn't matter so much.
Well, I was telling you about that slough I found in Miller Ferry. I haven't been fishing it that long, but it's usually clear. And since they're logging around it, the water's got color to it. So guess what? The fishing's way better in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the twos and fours and the bigger fish, we caught a 170 something the other day, which is a pretty good fish to catch in the summer. I caught a 180. I caught 40 in 2 hours in there by myself a couple weeks ago. Turned them all loose, and I was like, but I noticed the water was stained. I was like, man, these fish are biting. I get away with more. I didn't have to throw a monkey milk. I didn't have to throw a gray ghost. I could throw that chartreuse. When I could throw chartreuse and catch them, that's my confidence. That's my color of water. I see down there 12, 13-inch water. That gives me a lot of confidence that we're going to catch some fish. Same way down there at Swift Creek and all that stuff. The water got just enough color to Blake said he's struggling with boat control. Now keep trying all I know, man. The best thing to do, Blake, is keep the nose of that boat in the wind, man. Don't handicap yourself. Keep that boat in the wind. Hey, if you know that fish is over here at 11 o'clock, go ahead and start cheating your boat a little earlier. That way you don't get over there and start, pushing back. Ryan does the same thing I do. If he sees one over there, he's gonna start working his boat as early as he can to get that nose at that boat. I mean, everybody that I fish with does the same thing. If they see them out there, they're gonna start cheating that boat over and try to get that nose in it. because that boat slides, that boat pushes. If you throw way past the fish with your jig, the boat's had time to move. Try to get in the yard, practice shooting, practice pitching, and throwing just a few feet past the fish. That way you can get on the fish and fish before your boat has a chance to slide or move. Or the power brakes come in handy because you can stop to keep that little push from going. I mean, to keep you from sliding left or right. Like Colby said, I don't have to take my trolling motor off the fish anymore. I can slow down. So, but he's talking about, but like I said, Blake, just give yourself a chance. Try everything you know, and it's going to click one day, and you're going to be, hey, man, I got it, Windy or day? Go ahead, Brian.
I've took Blake fishing a couple times. He's a pretty good dude, but, I haven't succumbed to the pressure of buying the crappie brakes yet. So there's times with that aluminum boat I fished out of.
You ever get them, buddy? That's I'm telling you, I broke my shafts on mine. I had to put some new ones on it. And man, now I can just stop and fish. It's so nice.
I mean, even I struggle, with the boat control sometimes in the wind because I haven't broke down and bought the extra stuff yet. But
the wind blows on my back, pushes me. I just back it up. It's just, I don't know.
Well, you can get away with a lot more of those things because you can adjust easier that way.
Yes, 100%. And they do hang up on stumps and bump stuff. I get it, but it's so nice to be able to keep up with that fish in that timber. Me just keep my trolling motor on him. If he's moving or that school's moving, But Blake, all I can tell you is if you see a mark that fish and pick your spot in that water and start working your boat over to it, and then get in the wind. I'll tell. Colby's on fire. He's ready to throw. I said, hey, man, don't throw till I get through moving because I'm going to move it more and you're going to be like, oh, man, I kind of wasted the cast. And then I'll be all right, go. And then we'll start both throwing, Then he learns my pattern, then he knows what I'm doing. So, but
and once you get used to it, I mean, you can start throwing early, but, I mean, you have a better idea of where you need to throw. But
yes, man, I'm telling you, when Big Daddy was alive, we all used to he was like, Shane, when is this going to click? I said, buddy, it takes 40 hours plus for you on the water for you to even get started in boat control. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
It may be more than that. Yeah, I guarantee you, you do 4, 5, 8-hour trips and you're just getting into the gist of learning to put that boat somewhere. And like Colby said, Colby's been going with me for years. And he's over here, pat me on the back, man, I appreciate you. He said, what? I said, he said, I don't have to do nothing but cast and catch. Because, now he's got his own setup on his boat. He's like, man, I didn't realize how much moving you're doing. You really don't know until you have to do it yourself. And it's funny. Colby outfished me Saturday. He said, I'm supposed to. You think you're running the boat, and I said, you're absolutely right,
since we do it so much and, we don't, I guess we take a lot of that stuff for granted sometimes from the experience standpoint. But, there's a lot of times that, especially chasing roaming fish. When you're fishing a brush pile, that's totally different. But chasing roaming fish, a lot of times I'm looking at the screen, and just because of the angle of my foot, I know where I need to cast.
Well,
just
like running skid steer. You know what 1 o'clock is. You know what 2 o'clock is. You know what 12 is. You know what 11, 10. You know where your foot position is. And you'll learn that too, Blake. You'll start cheating that way before your boat slides. All this is going to start clicking. All your little tricks and tactics, they really will. It's something we can talk about until we get blue in the face. But when you do it, it may take somebody going with you, like Ryan, get in the boat and go, hey, man, start cheating to the right, start cheating to the left, letting you run the boat, But, hey, don't get frustrated. Big Daddy was 72 years old. 73 when he passed, and I introduced it to him a year or two before that. And heck, he would go out and bust him 40 fish, He'd call me. He's like, hey, but I do have a discount code. What is it for power brakes? S. Jones, I think. Yeah, S. Jones is a discount code for crappie brakes. I don't know how much. It saved you a couple $100, I think. Chad gave that to me when he sponsored the show. So, but don't get frustrated, guys. I cannot preach that enough. I mean, you're going to get frustrated to fish to begin with because they're being butts this time of year. Don't get frustrated with your boat control either. Don't do it because it gets better. I mean, Ryan and I, we both went with Eric. You know, it's been 5 years ago now. John, same way. We've been doing this 5 years. I mean, you can get a degree in 5 years. So that's basically what we have. We got a boat control degree after the time, you know. It takes time. I mean, you always hear time on the water. That time on the water, that's exactly what it is.
It's irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable. You can't buy it. It's going to be your time. Yeah, Clinton, you can put them on yourself. You can put the brakes on, buddy. It ain't, hey, there's nothing to it. You just tell Chad what kind of boat you got. He'll send you the brackets if you want them to come off your jack plate or you want to come off your boat. Just tell him what kind of boat you got. Chad's on top of it, buddy. When you call Power Brakes, excuse me. When you call Power Brakes, you're going to talk to Chad. You know, he's going to say what kind of boat you're running, and you get a custom setup for your stuff. So. But they're always, he's sending me stuff all the time, just texts. They're always evolving, making new stuff. I don't have the latest and greatest on my boat. I still have the old stuff on my boat. I'm going to run it till it gives up. So,
you know, we'd all go broke if we was all out buying the latest and greatest stuff every time it comes out.
Man, no, man, that's.
It seems like about the time I get comfortable with something, you know, something else is coming out. So,
well, you know, I've got a box that's half size of this desk full of jigs, and I promise you, I'm not throwing 3 or 4 of them. Kobe's laughing. He said, "What 3 jigs you throw?" I just laid them on the table. That's what I throw. They're either gonna bite them or starve, and I'm going home. That's what old man used to tell me.
Yeah.
That's what I used to fish with the guy around. I told Kobe he would throw a big old white spinnerbait all day. I said, "Tony, you gonna change it?" He said, "They're gonna eat this spinnerbait or starve." I said, "Okay." I eventually want to slam that thing, you know. But hey,
you know, it's funny how we evolve as fishermen, you know, and my wife makes fun of me all the time. But the jigs, hair jigs, plastics, whatever, you know,
100%.
Something to come out and you think you got to have it and you'll buy some of it. And just a different brand or whatever, you know, and I'm just like you. I'm down to the point now where, and there are certain times of the year I'll throw plastic and certain times I'll throw hair. But
yes, 100%.
But I'm down to just a few that that's it. I mean, I'm going to throw 2 or 3 things, maybe 4, and that's it.
Well, you're exactly right. Hey, I'm telling you, first of all, presentation is the first.
Oh, yeah.
If Ryan knows what he's doing and I don't, he can throw a monkey milk on those fish, and it can be muddy water. He's going to catch more fish than me because he's keeping it right here. Presentation's key. First thing, to me, color. The color and the profiles right there kind of mixed to me. I mean, I don't know how Ryan feels about it, but to me, the color and the profile is kind of right in the thing as far as coming in second. Presentation, you know, again, boat control helps you with presentation. So that's married together too. You get your boat stopped and you get it stopped in the wind, you get it pointed right, and your jig's bright and that fish is bright, you're in that wheelhouse of that fish, you've got a chance. You know.
I typically lean more towards profile than I do color.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's such a fine line right there.
Yeah.
You can't throw, you know, I don't say you can't throw. We catch fish on big baits all the time. You know, but like my typical thing right now, summer, I'm going to throw 1 3/4 inch, 2-inch bait, sometimes a slim profile. I may bend the hook up a little bit. And if they start sucking on it, I'm going to go to a 32nd. I'm going to try to shrink my bait up. If they're doing that half, you know, that little half-ass bite, I call it, you know, they know for it. And it's just, you know, it's funny. Get better, like I said, get better shooting the jig. Get better casting the jig. If you know, everybody can throw 30 feet. That's a first down. Everybody ever went with Eric, and they're not going to make you throw past 30 feet consistently. And hey, that fish is 22, 23, and you shoot at 30 feet, it's going to pin them down right there. Here's the 25-foot mark. You're right on the fish. You're fishing before, you know, in 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, you're on the fish. Well, you're going to find out what he's going to do. That's what you want to get consistent doing is putting that bait on them. You know, we're at the day and age that live scope's here. It's here to stay. You got it. Great. I use it to its full advantage. Learn all the tricks. If you have to pay a guide like myself, Ryan, anybody, get in there and, you know, we have trips where people catch fish, and we have trips where people learn the whole steps to catch fish. And I try to mix it, but sometimes it's hard if the fish are really biting. You know, I tell people, you catch 100 with me, you ain't going to learn nothing. You're just going to learn how to catch. You're just going to reel in fish. We catch 30, you're going to pick up something, you know, in that vicinity. You're going to learn something. So, I mean, Ryan tell you the same thing. It's so funny. Ryan and I fished a couple tournaments together, and how much we've evolved since then is crazy. And that ain't been that long ago, you know? I mean, 2 years ago, Ryan?
No, it's been longer. It's been probably 4 years ago.
Has it been 4 years? It probably been 4 years.
Maybe even 5.
You don't realize how much you've evolved since then. So, Blake, don't get frustrated, man. It doesn't matter. It's not to me, you can be the best athlete in America, and you're still going to go through that learning process, man. I mean, that's like anything. There's old Stevie. Stevie made me some jigs I'm finna go break in this weekend.
Hey, you know, and don't be afraid to experiment with different things either.
Yeah, what you got to lose? Exactly.
I mean, I'll just take, for instance, I was having a conversation with an older gentleman the other day. I'll just kind of relate this to a bass fisherman. If you go out and you're throwing a spinnerbait and they're absolutely hammering that spinnerbait, but they keep short striking it, what are you going to do?
Put a trailer hook on it.
Put a trailer hook on.
Right.
If you're casting that crappie jig out there with a feather tail, a hair jig with a feather tail, and you keep throwing it out there and they keep short striking it, what are you going to do? I'm going to cut the feather off. I'm going to cut the feather even with the back of the hook.
Yeah, I throw a plastic. I bite the head off of it. Slide it back on.
They ain't going to have nothing to grab a hold of that next time they go to bite that tail. Guess what? They're getting a mouthful of hook. I mean, don't be afraid to experiment and try different things.
Yes,
you know, if you're not catching no fish, you got to do something different. So it ain't going to hurt you to try it.
Nothing. It's not going to hurt you at all. I mean, I know when I go to Florida and those fish get on the bottom, and Neil and I, we were walking our jigs, and I thought, he said, they're going to bite on the bottom. I said, hell, I don't know. And I promise you, all it looked like was this right here. Look. It looked like a little blip, look like this. And I took that jig and walked it down there, and I walked it. Boom, they was eating it up. You know, and I thought, I don't know if they'll bite down there. Let's see. Sometimes you always wait for them to come up. You know, all you see is a little, hey, it would pop up. Whoop, whoop. It just, all you see is that right there running on the bottom. I'd walk my dig down to them. And, hey, I started popping them. And they were big fish. But I learn all the time. I mean, it's not just a cliche. Ryan does too. I learn every trip I go out. I learn something, I promise you. If it's not about the body of the water, it's about my tackle. It's about my electronics. It's about what to look for as a pattern on the river, the lake. It's just, you don't ever stop learning. That's what makes it fun.
You know, and I know I've said it 1,000 times, but whether it's Shane, me, John Fulmer, Eric, I mean, whoever it is, you can learn something from everybody.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with paying 4 or 5 different guides to go fishing.
Hey, man, what are you doing? You know, hey. What? You know, you're just like, that is cool. When we went with Eric, as much as I get to go, Eric showed me something within the first 15 minutes, and I was like, oh, I see. You know, on those Grenada fish especially, I was like, I get it. You know, and we caught fish. You know, yep. I can't go Shane's way and go over there and catch them in Grenada. I'm just telling you. I know how they act. I can't do it. Not the way I fish here. I just can't do it. They want a total different presentation, and hey, I get it. So,
but if you ever get them to turn over there, you ain't got to worry about them turning around, though.
That's the trick. That's the trick. You get the coots to turn around. You get the bird. I ain't you gonna use a bird, but you're gonna get the finger around these parts. But let's get off here, Ryan. Man, everybody, we done been on here an hour. I appreciate you filling in, man, and helping us.
No problem.
Everybody wish John a safe trip. He's going to get that gorilla hull put on his boat down at Toledo Bend. I think he's leaving tomorrow. I'm sure I'll talk to him tomorrow. But again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Alpha Plumbing, Andalusia Marine, Gerber Collision, Piggly Wiggly, Ace Hardware, McCalla, Hewittown locations, Camden, Piggly Wiggly, and Power Brakes. Man, I appreciate it. I'm going to make a new commercial for them. Hopefully I might do it this weekend where we can show it. But appreciate you, Ryan. Hang out, man. And thank all y'all for tuning in. And we're going to keep on doing this thing. We'll be live next Thursday. I'm sure we'll be talking about a little better fishing. Who knows? A little worse fishing. You don't ever know. So appreciate y'all.